This week I'll be mostly reviewing head torches.
The Spot and the Storm have been popular torches in Black Diamond's lineup for a long time. Recently both have been given an upgrade. So as well as now being more powerful than before, each torch is available in two different options. You can either have a dual fuel torch which takes either AAA batteries or Black Diamond's own battery pack, or you can get a rechargeable torch with an inbuilt lithium-ion battery. So let's start with the Storm. This is the chunkier, more powerful unit. IP67 waterproof rated, so it will take full immersion, and also capable of operating down to -17, which is good enough even for a chilly afternoon in the northern quarries like today. The Storm is the powerhouse of the Black Diamond rechargeable torch range. At £65, it's probably a higher end user that's going to be wanting it, but that price really does seem fair for the capability of the torch that you're getting here. And when you're out on a Scottish winter mountain, whether you're hill walking or climbing, as darkness approaches you want a nice bright torch to get you off the tricky ground, but it's not much use really if that brightness dims too rapidly. What you really need is a good combination of brightness and battery life. Here's where the Storm really comes in. It's got really class-leading battery life, and that's the thing that most impresses me about it. At maximum output, the Storm can kick out a full 500 lumens of light, which gives you effective visibility of 100 meters plus or minus. Now clearly that's plenty for seeing your way off a winter climb in the dark or navigating tricky ground off the path. Scale the output down to about mid-range, say 250 lumens, and you've got effective visibility of maybe 50 or 60 meters. That's plenty for seeing your way on a straightforward path, maybe where the navigation is less tricky and the ground less complicated. And it actually compares favourably with an awful lot of compact head torches out there in its own right. I scale the output right down to minimum 6 lumens and you're on sort of reading in the tent kind of mode. But the thing with the Storm is that it can carry on dribbling out this low level of power for literally days on end. So its mega burn time is really the thing that sets the Storm 500R apart. At its heart is a 2400 milliamp hour lithium-ion battery. Now this thing holds a lot of juice. At full output you have a full 7-hour burn time. Now it's worth pointing out that because output is not regulated, that brightness will steadily diminish as the battery life dims. You're not going to get the same level of brightness at 7 hours as you would with a full battery. Nevertheless, I think with a bit of frugal use, that's quite enough to get you off the Ben at night. At mid-output, you still have a really handy 19 hours of output, and right down at low, this torch can carry on dribbling out 6 lumens for a full 350 hours. The torch operates via 2 small buttons on top. The larger one turns it on, and the smaller button scrolls between the various modes. You've got flood for wide-angle close proximity work, and this gives a nice crisp beam that's not too dazzling. A coloured LED for night vision. Now this one actually gives you the choice of red, green or blue. Personally speaking, that's 3 more than I'd ever use, but I know someone will like it. Holding down the big button, output is dimmed and then made brighter again on a sliding scale. Personally, I'd have preferred 3 discrete modes for simplicity's sake: low, medium and high. But I do recognise that most torches these days aren't that simple, and this one is a lot more intuitive to use than most. The torch has the all-important lockout feature. Hold both buttons down and the on-off switch is locked. Now I think there has to be a big question mark over any torch that doesn't have this feature for mountain use. Less normally, the Storm, along with the Spot and various other Black Diamond torches, have power tap technology. Tap the side of the torch and you switch from whatever mode you were in to full output. Tap it again and you go back to the mode you were at before. The power tap works with gloves on, as you can see. It works with bare skin. You can even use an inanimate object like an ice axe if that's in your hand. I'm in 2 minds about power tap technology. I frequently tap it by mistake when I'm adjusting the angle of the torch, which can be a little bit annoying. But on the plus side, and this is a big plus, if you're set to say mid output to save battery while you're going along some straightforward ground somewhere, and then you come to a big obstacle that you can't see the end of, well, you just tap the full output. Suddenly you've got that 100-meter range. Get yourself down the difficult step. Then when you're down on safer ground again, just simply tap the torch and on you go at a more power saving level. Now this is nice to be able to do with gloves on as well, because really it's quite hard to fiddle with these buttons wearing big chunky gloves. Now there had to be a trade-off for all that output and burn time, and inevitably it comes in the form of bulk and weight. So while the Storm has slimmed down a little from its previous size, it's still relatively big and bulky for a compact front-mounted all-in-one head torch. Weighing 100 grams, you'll definitely notice that it's a little bit bigger than average. The slimline, stretchy, comfortable strap is easily adjusted and fits securely, but thanks to the fact that there's quite a lot of weight and you're carrying it all up front, you do get a little bit of bounce on the forehead when you're running. So for me, the Storm 500R definitely isn't a running head torch. For that, you'll want the Spot. This really is a torch for walking and climbing. So while I've got a couple of minor niggles with the Storm 500R, I am an old Luddite. Maybe a lot of people like the dimming function. Overall though, I've been really impressed with this torch. It's solid, it's waterproof, it's really powerful, and above all, it's got that amazing battery life. For me, this is a clear winner for Scottish winter, whether I'm hill walking or climbing this year. And actually, if you're looking for one do-it-all torch for harder conditions, more serious uses, this is one that really shines. But maybe you don't need high-end brightness and burn time and would instead prefer something a bit lighter and more compact. Here's where the Spot 400R might come in. Essentially, this is a similar design to the Storm with identical functionality, but at £55 it's a slightly more affordable unit for maybe a more general user. Weighing just 73 grams, it's a lot lighter than the Storm. It's also noticeably more compact. This isn't the sort of size or weight that's going to trouble you in a lightweight summer pack, or even in your pocket. At the same time, it's got that rugged housing like the Storm, and also has an IP67 waterproof rating. So this thing can take some knocks, and it's waterproof enough for Snowdonia in November. In common with the Storm, it has the same lightweight, stretchy, comfortable, close-fitting headband. And because it's a lighter unit mounted on your forehead, this one bounces an awful lot less, making the Spot 400R a really viable torch for running as well as walking and climbing. In terms of brightness, it's a smaller torch with a smaller battery, so you do get less brightness than the Storm, but the Spot 400R still kicks out a full 400 lumens on full output, with a maximum range of getting on for 100 metres. This is certainly enough to get you out of trouble on a winter crag, or navigate off path on difficult ground. Scroll down to mid-output, got maybe 200 lumens and let's say 40 to 50 metres of visibility. Again, that's really plenty for walking on more straightforward tracks and trails. In terms of operation, this torch works in exactly the same way as the Storm, with your two buttons. You've got the dimming function, the power lockout, and of course that power tap feature. It's a smaller, lighter torch primarily because it's got a smaller, lighter battery inside it. Here you get a 1500 milliamp hour lithium-ion battery. This gives you a respectable burn time at maximum of 4 hours. Now that compares really well with a lot of compact torches. Remember of course that as an unregulated output, that will dim steadily as the battery drains, so you're not going to get the same brightness at 4 hours that you would at 1 hour. Mid-output, you get 8 hours of burn time, while down at the very bottom, tent reading mode, it's a full 225 hours. So while it doesn't quite have the brightness and burn time of its big brother, the Storm, the Spot 500R is still really competitive with other small torches of its class. In fact, I think its balance of power, burn time and size and weight make it a really good all-rounder, which should be attractive to a good range of mountain users. I've been really impressed with both these rechargeable torches from Black Diamond. I think they've done a really good job of balancing the various things that you need in a mountain torch. In fact, it's true to say that these are going to be the two that I carry with me, whether I'm hill walking or mountaineering this coming winter season.